Today we're going to be testing 3 different loads. Kind of one of those things that easy to get powders versus hard to get powders isn't worth the, I guess, headaches of trying to get the hard to find powders. So I'm using Longshot, and then the other powder I'm using is steel. Obviously steel's the preferred powder for non-toxic. But anyway, so we're going to be using I got 3-inch and I got 2 3/4 loaded up. The load, obviously, which everybody can do right now and can get powder that they can get, is the Longshot. So the first load we're going to try out is 35 grains of Longshot. These are all 1 ounce loads, so we're going on the light side of the loads, light loads, fast speeds. Maybe if you're looking for doing some dove hunting. It's getting a little late for dove hunting, but hey, you never know. But mainly for dove hunting for the one ounce loads. These are 1 ounce number 5s, something that I would use if I was to hunt doves. We'll start with the 3-inch, and then we'll jump over to the 2 3/4. This is steel, using an MG42, and then also a 3-inch using the MG42. So all 3 loads are using an MG42 wad, and we're just going to see what the differences are, if the patterns are equal. Everything's 1 ounce, and we're at 30 yards using a modified choke. Today we got the Browning. I want to check speed, see how fast these loads are going. I just all in all see if they're what they're supposed to be, and kind of go from there. So again, we're going to start out with the easy to get powders. Longshot, 1 ounce of Longshot, or 1 ounce of steel using Longshot, and it's loaded with 35 grains of Longshot. So his first load is going to be loaded with 35 grains of Longshot using an MG42 wad and 1 ounce of number 5s. That one is at 1648, 1,648 feet per second, 1648. I don't know if that one ejected or not. So I forgot to take the stupid tape off the bottom. Anyway, trying to beat the darkness here, and so I got jammed up in there. That's on me. That's my fault. It's nothing to do with the load. Anyway, so we'll run down and see what the pattern looks like. So for a 1 ounce load, I think this looks really good. Obviously our goal is to fill this whole circle. A little bit low, but definitely a decent pattern. You know, again, a touch low. We got a lot of opening up here, but I think you could easily take some doves with that. So for the next load, we're going to run the 2 3/4 first, and then we're going to run the 3-inch. So this one here, again, they're pretty much the exact same load other than 2 grains of powder. It's 2 3/4 Cheddite, 38 grains of steel, and an MG42 wad, 1 ounce of number 5. This one here is supposed to be running at 1,465 feet per second. And then the 3-inch is supposed to be running at 1510. So we'll see how close that is to actual speeds. We'll pull the tape off first before we put it in the chamber so we don't have any problems. So we'll see what it looks like compared to the Longshot. So that one's running at 1606, 1,606 feet per second. So a little bit faster, actually quite a bit faster. So that one's only supposed to be running at 1465. So again, if you're looking for speed, we'll see what it looks like at on paper. Comparing load for load with the exact same wad, definitely by far supersedes the Longshot. So the other pattern was okay, but this is way better. I would say almost 90% of those number 5 BBs are inside this 30-inch circle. Little bit of a hole up here, but otherwise everything is covered real well. The last load is going to be in a 3-inch hull, Cheddite. We're running 40 grains of Alliant steel, using an MG42 wad, and we are running 1 ounce of number 5. Now this is supposed to be running at 1510. Now that last one was supposed to be 14 something. It was up to 16 something. So obviously I'm guessing this one's going to run a little bit faster than 1600 feet per second. But we'll test it out, see what it does. So unfortunately, I had a battery issue because it says bat. Not sure what was going on here. Obviously, we're not burning all of our powder because you can see some flame coming out of here. So yeah, we'll take a look and see what the pattern looks like. I did not get a feet per second, so we'll have to retest that one because I am curious how fast it's going to run. I don't know if under normal circumstances it's getting kind of duskish out, but there was definitely a lot of fire coming out of the breech here, so definitely not burning all of that powder. So to me, this pattern looks very similar to the previous one. I will test it again. We definitely need to get a different chronograph reading on it. This pretty much fills all of the gaps. Everything's filled here, a couple up high a little bit, but all in all, not many gaps inside that pattern. So definitely a good load also. Ultimately, any one of those 3 loads would be a good load to use for a smaller game hunting. Again, I was using number 5 shot. The Alliant steel held the better pattern, but the powder that's easily accessible, Longshot, didn't do too bad either. So again, decent loads. Definitely prefer the Alliant steel over the Longshot, but again, the Alliant steel is definitely hard to get, and it seems like you only purchase it about once a year if you can actually find it. So good luck finding the Alliant steel. If you can't use Longshot, it'll definitely work for you. I'll retest the 3-inch to see where what the feet per second is, and then I guess see if we get a little flame out of it. Obviously unburnt powder is what's going on there.